Have you ever wondered if you could secretly control computers around you? Or maybe you suspect that someone, hackers, a partner, coworkers, or even friends, has slipped into your system through a hidden backdoor? Well, today you're going to uncover the truth. We come to Cyber Incarnate, the channel that share content and tutorials about tech, networking, ethical hacking, and cybersecurity. Today, we are going to learn how to successfully remotely control a Windows system through a backdoor using a Python script. This is the result of what we are going to create after this video. Create a connection between a victim's machine and your server. Remotely run commands. Make the backdoor persistent. Survive reboots. Encrypt traffic to stay undetected by nosy network admins. Before we begin, let's get one thing straight. This tutorial is strictly for educational purposes. Only perform these steps on systems you own or have explicit permission to test. A virtual lab environment. Misusing this knowledge is illegal and unethical. With that out of the way, let's dive in. Before starting anything, we are going to take everything phase by phase. The very first phase is the reconnaissance phase. Planning the attack. Every successful hack starts with a solid plan. In this phase, we'll outline our tools and strategy. This is where we plan the attack, determine the tools to be used, and decide how they will be applied. In this project, we are going to use Kali Linux in a virtual machine and a Windows 10 system. The Kali machine is going to act as the server, while the Windows system will act as the victim machine. Python packages are pre-installed in Kali, so no need for extra installation. You can run Python directly from the terminal and test scripts before final execution. At the same time, as an ethical hacker, you need to install Python on the client computer, which is the Windows machine for testing purposes too. Installing PyInstaller will also help, as it allows us to convert our code into an .exe file, making it executable on Windows. This will help troubleshoot any errors that may prevent your code from running on the victim machine. Now, to install Python on a Windows machine, simply type the following command in your Windows command prompt. Wing-it install python.py 3.11 or download from python.org. With this being said, let's move on to the next phase. Coding phase. In this stage, we're going to write a Python script that will help us achieve all these tasks. But wait, manually coding line by line? Nah, it's 2025. We'll leverage AI to speed things up. However, I still recommend having a good background in Python programming if you want to take ethical hacking and cybersecurity seriously, because you will use it frequently. Now, to begin code generation, I'll post a prompt I've already composed into Grok 3 AI. I prefer this AI because of how great it is at writing code. I will share my prompt in the description so you can generate the script yourself. But remember to only use it on systems you have permission to access. After generating my code, I will be left with two different scripts, one for the server and one for the victim's device. Since I own both systems, I will edit each script separately. The server code will be edited in Kali Linux. The client code will be edited and executed on the Windows OS for simplicity. Next, we will copy the code from Grok AI and paste it into Notepad++ on Windows. Looking at this, you can see we are working with the client first. However, there is a very important edit we need to make, changing this part of the code, in my case at line 22 in the client script, where the server IP address is specified. You will be asked to replace your IP with your server's IP address. Before this attack can be successful, your Kali machine and Windows machine must be connected to the same network. To find your server's IP address, on Kali Linux, type ifconfig in the terminal, or ipadder. To check IP address on Windows, type ipconfig in the command prompt. Look for the IP address and try pinging the Windows IP address on your Kali Linux, or vice versa to ensure that both devices are on the same network. Once you have your Kali machine's IP address, go back to Notepad++ on Windows and replace your IP with the correct Kali IP address. Press Ctrl+S to save and name your Python file. I will choose the name backdoor.py. Converting Python code to an executable. Exe. After successfully editing the code, we will convert the Python script into an executable.exe file for Windows. Since we are building everything on a Windows system, to detect errors before deploying to the victim's machine, we will use PyInstaller to achieve this. To install PyInstaller, open the Windows command prompt and type pip install PyInstaller. The installation will begin. Prior to full installation and upgrade, you will see a message like, a new release of pip is available. To update, run python.exe pip install, upgrade pip. Highlight and copy this command, then paste it in the Open Command Prompts window to proceed with the installation. Once PyInstaller is successfully installed, open another command prompt window and navigate to the directory where your backdoor script is located. Then, type the following command to convert your Python file into n.exe pinstaller, one file, console backdoor.py. This command creates an .exe file that, when executed, displays a console window where you can see what's happening. However, if you don't want any console output to appear, for stealth, you can replace console with no console. After successfully converting the script, open File Explorer, navigate to the folder where the backdoor is installed, and open the dist folder. There you will find the backdoor.exe file. Editing and running the server script. On Kali, I have saved my code as server.py, but I have not yet edited it. To edit the code, navigate to the directory of your script and type nanoserver.py. This will open the script in Nano, a text editor. Find the line containing server.bind and replace your IP with your Kali machine's IP address. After editing, press Ctrl-X to exit, Y for yes to save changes, enter to confirm. To check if our server script is working, navigate to the server code directory and type python3server.py. You should see a message like, waiting for connection. Execution stage. Now that our coding stage is complete, it's time for execution. To execute our code, navigate to the server directory and start the server. python3server.py. You should see the message, waiting for connection. On the Windows system, run the backdoor.exe if it's not already running. If the connection fails, terminate the process on Windows and re-execute the backdoor. Once connected, your Kali terminal should display the victim's Windows IP address. To verify that you are inside the Windows system, type, "Who am I?" This should return the correct desktop username of the Windows machine. Next, check the Windows network information. ipconfig. This will display the Windows IPv6 address, IPv4 address, subnet mask, default gateway, and connection type, for example WLAN. To view open ports and active TCP UDP connections, type netstat on. To see the folders in the same directory as backdoor.py, type dir. And that's it. You've now learned how to set up a remote backdoor, establish a connection, and execute commands on a target system, all within a controlled and ethical testing environment. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Always use this knowledge ethically and only on systems you own or have permission to test. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Cyber Incarnate for more tech, cybersecurity, and ethical hacking content. Stay curious, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next video.